show you all the main features of the Instagram planner. Okay, so first thing is that you can change the date really easily. So I mean the year, so I can just do it like that, and then all the dates shift automatically. Let's just go back to 2022, and then here I can choose certain dates that I want to highlight, and then see, you know, a general overview that, for example, this is the time when I ran a sale, then maybe this is where I will run another sale. Another way you could use this is you could add, you could say the content that you wrote during that time. So then, or for example, if you had a collaboration with an influencer or with somebody else, then you could add it here. So you would just say, select this, and then you click this icon which says insert comment. You can also use a shortcut, and then you would say collab with you know, a certain person on Instagram. You could say their Instagram handle, or something that would help you remember it. Because what happens is that next year what you could do is you can duplicate this sheet. And then I just changed my year, and I know that this is 2023, and then this stays, so the formatting stays, so I know what happened during that year, but the comments only stay in the previous planner. So you kind of can change this completely differently. You can also change the colors. So the way you would do that, you would select all the places you want to change the color. So let's say I want this one to be blue, so I'll change the background, and then I will just select all the months. So I'm holding the command key while I'm doing this, and I'm just selecting, and then I change the color over here. Now this, as you can see, has to be black, so that's very easy to fix. If you want to change the font, again, you click on this and then you drag, and what you do is you click on the font and you can choose the font that you like more really easily. You can also go here and try more fonts, and if you want, you can choose the style of the font as well, so it's even easier for you. So if you want something from display, you just choose it and then you click on it, and it's added to the list of your fonts, and it also changes the fonts for you. Now I will just go back to this, and this is how it looks like. Okay, over here on the right we have our to-do list, and we also have a dynamic list, which means that depending on the date, so right now today is Monday, but tomorrow it's gonna be a Tuesday, so it's gonna update automatically for you. So this will change all the time. This will stay the same. And then once you write a task here, for example, you say third task, what happens is that once you click this and you tell the Google Sheets that it's done, then it crosses it out for you automatically. And the same over here. Again, here you could change the format. You could go to format, is it format? Yes, format, number, and then you would go custom date and time, and then you can choose how you want to see that. So for example, maybe I want to know the exact date it is, and it doesn't matter to me if it's Monday or Tuesday. I just want to know the date immediately. So again, tomorrow that would be 23rd, for example. So this is a really nice formula. I'll just go back. Next we have the ABC planner. So this is something for you if you want to do that. For me, it helps to kind of prioritize my tasks, especially if I have quite a few. So you just write the tasks here, and so I divided them to personal and professional. You could choose whichever, and then you choose 6 most important ones. So usually it's something bigger, but let's say your goal is to start a blog, get more following on Instagram, maybe you want to promote a product there, maybe you want to collaborate more with other people on Instagram. So what happens is that as soon as you change these, they update here as well for you automatically. So now I can divide them into manageable chunks and make them smaller so that, you know, starting a blog is not as crazy. And then I could say that my first step, for example, would be to choose a niche, then maybe do some research, then write my first blog post, and etc, etc, etc. To get more following on Instagram, I could also do some research of what are the latest things that work, create more reels, comment on other people's posts, and etc, etc. Now we have the progress checker. So here you just choose some ideas that you want to track the progress. It's really easy. What you can do is you can just go to your task planner, or you can go to your ABC planner. You can write the tasks here as well. So for example, I want to start a blog here. What I would do, I will just copy this and paste it, but not normally, but I would paste values only, so then the styling stays the same. Or I can write something else and do the same thing. So I copy it and paste it, so your styling doesn't change, but this changes, and then it gets updated to these as well. And I can copy it here if I want. So this can be your personal goals, or it could be your client goals as well. And to change the date is really easy. Just click twice and choose whichever date you need. So again, very, very easy. Then there's a strategy. So this is very simple. Just you can look through it. Content topics. So this is for you to kind of to help you with the brainstorming process, because some people really struggle with that. So you could have some questions that you would answer about your audience. For example, you could say also brainstorm some topics that would be the most important for you. So to answer the questions, I would probably just answer them here. So let's say, what does my audience want right now? So maybe they want to create content more easily and don't need to spend like a lot of time here. You would just want to do it as quickly as possible to just get those ideas out there and then move on. Then we have content ideas. So here you would write your main content pillar that you have, and here you would write the things that they come from the content topics actually. So if we go to content topics, you'll see that I have some places for the main topics of the month, and then they get updated over here, and then I can expand on them if I want. So for example, if I have the myth that I want to, I can kind of relate that to sales. And say, you know, that this is the myth that people have about my product, but actually it is whatever. Or I could give them some hacks on how to use my product, or I could create some interesting content, for example, a meme that showcases my product, or not necessarily showcases, but it's related to that. I can also create a story or share my own personal story, how it helped me that I was using that product, or how I came to create that product. But of course, the idea is that I share some kind of value to my audience, so that I think more about them versus me, and I think, okay, this is how I would this is what would be interesting for me, and this is what would actually help me. Next up, we have the sales content. So there's multiple ways how you can sell something, and there's multiple things that people want. So one of the things that people want is to have that trust with your product and your brand. Another thing is to know all the benefits that your product has. So we're not talking about features here, we're talking about like, what does the client get from using my product. Also, they might have some objections, so maybe the price is too big, and you would kind of try to tell them why the pricing is that way. Or they might have some pain points that the product could solve. So again, you would want to write that down for your future reference. And also some emotions that your product could evoke. So maybe if it's jewelry, then it boosts confidence. Maybe if it's some perfume that makes them feel good, and things like that. So this is kind of, again, something that you would do fairly quickly, and maybe do it multiple times throughout the year to kind of add those ideas when you have time. So then when you are going to the content process, it's already easier for you. Okay, and now we start with the actual content creation. So here we will choose our content pillars or social media or something else. The way it works is that it gets updated to the monthly part, so over here, and it works throughout all the places. So let's say I want to use this for my content pillars. So maybe one of my content pillars is FOMO. Maybe another one is I want to create educational content. Maybe this one is for memes and things like that. So once I do that, now as you can see, it's going to say that this is not correct because it isn't. I'm just going to delete this, and now I can just choose whichever I want, and I can change them all the time. Another thing I want you to see is that I've created multiple monthly content planners. So this is month 1, but then I can go here and turn on month 2. And if you do for your feed, you will have to also choose feed 2 as well, because it's connected, to this one, and this one is connected to this one. In order to upload the images, you just click insert image in cell, but definitely image in cell, because what happens if you choose our cells, let me just add a random image. It works in a different way. I don't know. Okay, and it's not even uploaded in the right spot. It's just uploaded on top of everything, and then it doesn't get updated to the monthly planner because it's not in cell, it's on top of it. So that's kind of annoying. But what you can do if you do that, you can click on the 3 dots, and you could put image in selected cell, so it does that for you. So it's fine if you do that first, but just make sure that you put them in the right cell. So as soon as I say put image in selected cell, oh, not that one. You need to select the cell first, then select the image, then put image in selected cell. Then if I go with my month 1, I see that my image has been updated to that one, but it's not going to be updated to the second one because I didn't, it's not connected to the second feed, if that makes sense. Let's just go back. Now I'm going to create a separate video for you if you don't know how to create square images or how to cut images properly. So that's going to be linked below. Let's move on to the next one. So here you can either use this or you can reuse the old feed. If you're not going to use it, I would recommend to hide it. And another thing, you can always change the color to make it easier on you. So you can just make it green, for example. And let me just hide this one as well. So I think it's enough to have one, but I just created it so that, if you want to keep that content for some reason there. Now, here we have the caption, the hashtags, you can choose what you want to say here as well. And we can change the date. So the way we change the date, we just click twice and then we choose the time, and then the day next to it is going to be updated automatically. And the same way here, I can start from the first one or I can start from the 8th, then all the rest is going to get updated. Okay, now there's another way to do this. So for example, if you know that all of your days are going to be like next day, then you could possibly do a formula and say this plus 1. So then it would do it automatically for you, but then you would have to do it for each cell. I didn't do that because I've noticed that most people, they like to select specific days. So because they don't post every day, for example, so that's why. Another thing you could possibly do is that if you want to use this for multiple social media and not just Instagram, once you have updated all of this, you could possibly duplicate this, and then all the content will stay the same because it's duplicating and it's using the first feed that we used. So here you could have your Facebook content easily, and you will keep the captions. I mean, I duplicated before the captions, but you probably won't. So you can use it for different social medias as well. It doesn't have to be just for Instagram. Okay, let me just delete this for now. And then we have our Instagram carousel. So here I have the AIDA model. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but basically, you know, for you to create carousels that are engaging and interesting, you want to grab the immediate attention with your first carousel, and then you want to keep their interest to kind of, you know, it's kind of the thing which copywriters use and say, okay, my first sentence is just so that somebody would read my second sentence. So basically this is how it is. This is the place for you where you're building that interest. You're not giving the solution yet. You're telling them why it would be useful for them. So for example, for this, I'm saying that stop staring at a blank screen because it helps you to create content, you know, or you are creating content and don't even know where to start. So this could explain why it's interesting. You could also hit some pain points for your audience. So you could say, you know, this is painful for me. Is this painful for you? You know, not having clients, for example. And you could use those pain points to kind of drag them in, and then once you pique their interest, you can give them share the main idea, give them details of the main idea. So basically there's not enough space for you to have a lot of text, so you want to have that one idea, one main idea, and then just give the details in all the separate slides. And then at the end you want to have a certain call to action and tell them what you want them to do. So maybe it's to buy a product, maybe it's to save the post. If you're starting out, then probably save the post and things like that. So this is really good for, you know, if you're talking to your clients and you're talking about strategy and what you're going to do for them, to show them that, look, my content isn't without a thought. I'm not just creating this because it's beautiful, but I'm actually creating because it's working, and it's because this is how we pique the interest of our followers. Next, we have the Instagram Stories Planner. So I personally would use this more to kind of think of the captions and the call to actions, or I would use, you know, one main idea, one beautiful photo. So the first one would be very beautiful, but then I would just use Instagram itself, because that way you can, instead of creating just one story, you can create, 10 stories really easily. But it's up to you, and it depends on who you're working for. So you could just add the image here. You can change, write the date here. You can add the call to action here as well. So kind of to, for example, if it's gonna have a poll or not. So this is kind of also, again, for you to plan it out. We also have a Reels planner. So with Reels, you need a hook for sure, or you need a topic. So first you have a certain topic and certain ideas, and you could just brainstorm here, and then after that you could create a hook for each one. So basically, you know, the first thing you're gonna say in the first 3 seconds are the ones that matter the most. So you would just write it here, and then you would have the caption or the rest of the text if you need that. And so this could be, you know, some statistics, some numbers, something more interesting for your user as well. And then you can also add a comment and check if you used it, and then check the ones that worked the best for you. Next up, we have the hashtag strategy. So here, the most important part is that you can filter them. So I'll just sort them out. I can filter them by how many posts they have. So you can also filter them by color. Let's say I want to see the green ones first. So these are the ones that don't have as many posts already. And okay, so now I'm gonna turn off the filter. And now another thing I want to show you is that if you repeat a certain keyword by accident, for example, it's gonna become red, so you know that it's been used before. So that's really useful. Another useful feature is that if I use Command plus F, I can actually find things in this sheet. So for example, I could write business and then see how many times business was used by me. So that's another thing that's very useful. And you can also replace the text with whatever you want, so that could also be useful. Because if you, for example, let's say I will I'll just give you an example. So let's say I write business and I write business but with a space, it's not gonna find a duplicate because I used the space. So what I can do, I can use the formula I just told you about. So I'm using Command F, or it's probably somewhere here as well that you can do that, I don't know, but I'm just gonna write it here for you so you know. It's Command plus F. So what I do, I find in sheet the space. So let's find the space. As you can see, it's already there, and I'm not gonna use all sheets, I'm gonna use specific range. So I'm gonna select this range specifically, and then I'm gonna replace it with nothing. So I'm gonna say, okay, find, and then once it finds it, I'm gonna say replace, and that's it. So now, as you can see, it's red because the space is gone. Okay, that's it with the hashtags. And next we have Instagram engagement. So these are the things you could do to create engagement, because especially if you're a small account, you will need to do things to kind of engage with that audience, create that connection and things like that. So this is the most annoying part, but it's just how Instagram works. So you do have to comment on other people's posts, because that makes them see your content more, especially if they react to your content. And then last but not least, we have a bonus of Instagram caption prompts. So this is basically for you, again, if you don't have ideas, if you don't know where to start, to kind of get you on track and get you to start going. I hope this is useful. There's going to be other videos that I explain how to upload the images, so check them out if you don't know. And most importantly, if you have any questions and I haven't answered them in this video, or even if I have answered them, it doesn't matter, just send me a message. I would be more than happy to answer all of your questions for you. Okay, thanks for watching.